Hey friends, welcome to my YouTube channel, or if you've been in before, welcome back. I am Tink, I'm an illustrator based in the English countryside, and today we are going to be doing a little tour of my mini sketchbook. This is one that I finished probably a couple of months ago now, and I've had a couple of people bug me on Instagram, and I've been posting little snippets on my TikTok as well. So I thought it was only right and proper that the first people that should see the full thing is you guys here on YouTube. Yeah, I really hope that you enjoy this little sketchbook tour. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you like it and you would like to subscribe. Yeah, it's mainly a mixture of like acrylic gouache and coloured pencil and lots of colour and cute things. So I really hope you enjoy it, and I'm going to jump straight into the sketchbook tour. First things first, this is the pocket-sized watercolour sketchbook by Moleskine. If you've been following me on the internet for a while, you'll know that I try out a lot of different sketchbooks. I normally get a different one each time, but I did actually really love using the sketchbook. I would really recommend it. I know that the Moleskine ones are a little bit on the pricier side, but honestly, in my opinion, just for the quality of the paper alone, because I do a lot of painting in my sketchbooks, yeah, it was definitely worth it for me. The stickers on the front, this one is by Lee Ellickson, who most of you will know. If you're watching this on YouTube and you like illustration videos, then in all likelihood you will have seen her work. And this one is actually by Amy Lesko, who's Lesko Let's Go on Instagram. And this was a sticker as part of a set she designed for the Paper Gang stationery subscription. So without further ado, didn't fill in the front bit, feeling pretty brave, I guess. This is technically the first page, but it's just a bit awkward because it's glued together. So now unfortunately I didn't actually, I normally stamp the date of at least the first page, if not more, but as you can see with this one I didn't, so I don't have the exact date that I started it. I think it was around May 2020, that would be my guess. So this page is just some hand studies. I probably don't really need to explain that, but I wanted to kind of do sketches and work on drawing hands, but have it be fun and colourful. That was kind of the full thought process behind this. And obviously I filled in all the gaps with colours and flowers because, as you will see, I'm not a huge fan of white space, especially in my sketchbooks. So yeah, that was a really fun page to do. You can see I like corrected it with white gouache where I smudged some of them, but yeah. This spread I actually did much later on. For some reason I left this spread blank, and I think I was about 2/3 of the way through the sketchbook, and I just happened to flick back through and realised that I had not filled in the second page. So did these loosey-goosey watercolour toadies. So yeah, again, if you have been following me for a while on the internet, you'll know how much I love drawing frogs and toads. So this is just kind of a frog appreciation page. I actually did these using some watercolours that I was given by Stationery Island. I did a little collab and gave some paints away on my Instagram, so yeah. I didn't do any pencil sketches or anything beforehand. I was very much just kind of seeing how it turned out, and this one actually ended up being turned into my Do Not Bend stamp, and this one I think is another stamp that I put on reused packaging in my Etsy shop. So yeah, it's funny how unassuming, very messy little sketches can end up being something that I use all the time. This is another acrylic gouache, and then I think where you can see there's like slightly more of a watercolour texture, that's just straight up gouache with coloured pencil details. Some flowers, again filling in all the space in between them. Swamp toads. This one I actually painted in the garden on a really sunny day last year, and these guys ended up being a swamp toad sticker sheet in my shop, which has been one of my best-selling stickers of any kind of all time in my shop, so I'm really glad that you guys like these little swamp toadies as much as I do. very, very loose watercolours. The cat's just walked in. Don't know if you can hear her squeaking or not through the mic. Hello. No, you don't really need to be involved in this. I actually covered these pages. I can't remember what I had painted on them, but it was something I was really unhappy with. So I covered them with white gouache and then just did these really loose landscapes. These were from photo reference on Pinterest, I think. I did each one in about 5 minutes. Again, it's pretty basic, just using one colour of watercolour. Yeah, I think I did this as like a little warm-up exercise one day. This was actually the rainbow outfit that I happened to be wearing when I drew this page. You can see it's actually rubbed a little bit. I need to go through. I was going to say some of these pages later on have got little pieces of tracing paper or whatever separating them, but I have sprayed some of them with fixative, so I need to go through and actually sort this page out, I think. Little flower faces, and here we have a date. I think that's the first date of this book so far, 10th of July. So it wasn't really until later on that I started filling this one in religiously. Like at the end, towards the end of it, I was doing about a spread a week, which is a lot for me, really. But I had just watched Alice in Wonderland, and that wonderful scene where all the flowers come to life and start singing to her. So yeah, that was the inspiration behind this grumpy little sunflower. Again, you can see like 10th of July, 1st of August, so a bit of a gap, but this is more of like a mood board spread, I guess. I was bored, I didn't know what to draw, so I just picked a load of random inspiration from Pinterest and went from there. This was also around about the same time that I really started falling in love with this colour palette, which has basically been on my brain for the last year now. So, well, not year, obviously it's August, but can you stop moving the camera, please? I'm sorry, my cat is determined to be involved in this process. Really? Must you? Anyway, yeah, this was a little mood board spread. It was just kind of passing time, really. This spread is about my love of chickens. I love chickens so much. We don't actually have any at the moment, but we had lots of chickens growing up, and they are just the sweetest animals. They are very intelligent, and they'll kind of rush up to you when they see you coming, and when they know that you're going to bring them food. So, and strawberries were our chickens' favourite. I think I was covering up something else with a little bit of brown tape there, and then this is just acrylic gouache with mainly coloured pencil details. This spread, famously unhappy with. If you have seen any of the mini sketchbook tours I've been doing on TikTok recently, I'm really unhappy with this. All the textures just kind of got really muddy and blurred into one, and then there's this random really out there tree. I kind of like the mountains, but that's about it. Yeah, not a fan of that spread. Or this one, either I ended up doing the eyes in graphite pencil, which I was hoping would make them really deep, but instead they're kind of like weirdly reflective, while the rest of the spread is like this nice flat acrylic gouache. So yeah, I really don't like that at all. This is inspired by Monet's gardens in France, somewhere I would love to go, and somewhere I actually found myself spending time on the internet during the second lockdown here in the UK. There's these lovely bulrushes and water lilies, and it's just an amazing place, and that inspired this painting. I saw a really cute photo on Pinterest of a mouse sat on top of a poppy seed head. It's an actual photo that I will try and overlay, but it was so freaking cute I couldn't not paint it. This is actually another one from Monet's Gardens in Paris, and those two are actually a print set in my shop. It just looks like an amazing place, and when the pandemic is over, I fully intend to visit there. This was one of the Inktober spreads that I did. I did a couple of loose drawings before then, but this was, I did Peachtober last year in 2020, as you can see, and the prompt for this was sword. So this is from Lord of the Rings by Tolkien, and it's from The Riddle of Strider, I think it's called. I just this phrase has always resonated with me, and I think that, well, I mean, I love The Lord of the Rings, the story, and like the folklore and everything behind it, so, but yeah, I think personally this has always had a lot of significance for me personally. Happy little eggs! This is for Peachtober as well. Little egg friends. This was actually a Patreon reward sticker, I think for November last year. This was also Peachtober. This is for horns, even though, yes, I do know that technically they're not horns, they're antlers, but I wanted to draw a stag because I live near a big nature reserve that, again, haven't been able to visit or even drive past lately, thanks COVID. And this is another spread that's unfinished, I wasn't happy with. It's actually using acrylic inks, and I didn't shake the bottles properly, so I don't know if that's going to come across on camera, but they have this weird like sheen to the surface. Anyway, just not great. This is fully coloured pencils, and then this is coloured pencils with like an oil pastel scribbly background. I was just experimenting with different flower shapes. I was really inspired by Natalie Andreessen, and I wanted to try and work on like getting gradients in coloured pencils. I tend to rely too heavily on like flat colour, I think, sometimes, so I was just experimenting with texture. Not too pleased with this one. I mean, I think that the little face is cute and this guy's pretty cute, but other than that, the pencil's got on the watercolour and the watercolour's got on the pencil, and it's all just a bit of a chalky mess, to be honest with you. Yep. Two little landscapes. I actually painted these as part of a studio vlog here on YouTube, using the watercolours that Stationery Island sent me that I talked about earlier. I kind of like the texture in this one with like the scribbles over the two shades of watercolour, and I definitely kind of use these as thumbnail sketches to go on to bigger, more fully fleshed out landscapes. Not a fan of this spread either. I like Mr. Bear, I think he's pretty cute and the flowers are fine, but oh my gosh, this landscape just turned into a big hot mess. There's so many layers, watercolour and pastel and pencil, and it just really didn't work out at all. Joined together with the fact that it's smudged a little bit, so we'll just put that one there and politely move on. This is Tombow dual brush markers, which I really like using when I'm, honestly, mainly when I'm feeling too lazy to get my paints out. I will use brush markers with coloured pencil over them. I really missed dancing with my friends, so yeah, that's the full, very intellectual reasoning behind this spread. This was also a Patreon reward sticker, this little dancing gal, so I really like her shoes. I wish I owned them in real life. We're very much into winter by this point, so this is just like a cozy, I think I planned on maybe turning this into a little sticker sheet, but it never actually happened. But I really like the jumper. I feel honestly like if I spent another half an hour drawing on top of this with details, it'd be a lot better, but I just never really got round to it. So yeah, it will stay for now forever unfinished. Maybe I'll work it up into something better later. This one is also Tombow dual brush markers. I am a huge fan of Pinterest, and I just kept seeing these wonderful shirts that everyone was wearing with massive shoulders, and I think that especially in lockdown when like we need an excuse to dress up, I thought that was really cool, so I drew this sassy little gal. This is like another doodly mood board page, very firmly into this colour palette by now. I actually quite like this spread. I think I planned on turning this guy into a little print, but I had to cover up something. I'm not sure if I like that or not, like the paper stuck in. Who knows, but I like the cozy little log cabin, and you know how much I love mushrooms, so this is kind of like a magical, cosmic inspired spread. I was flicking through a deck of tarot cards and just kind of pulled elements from that. I really like the three-eyed kitty and The moth I think is cute, but I wish I'd used a slightly darker red to give more contrast. But what I do love is this opera pink that I use for the background. That's acrylic gouache. It's such a fabulous colour. Again, I don't know how well that's going to come across on camera, but it's really, really vivid and I love using it to paint with. This is my cat Betty, who you just saw the back end of, I think. This is actually a plan for one of the many hobbies that I picked up during lockdown, is punch needling, and I'm actually going to do some punch needling here on my YouTube channel. And this is a design for a cushion that I want to try and make to go on my bed. Yeah, I just thought that Betty was pretty cute and she deserves to be immortalised in paint and wool. And then this is the final page. I took a call out on my Instagram for random doodles that I could fill up the last page with. I had a little lion, that was a bit of a disaster. A frog, that was also a disaster. I didn't wait for the watercolour to dry. Kitty, flowers. Someone suggested I should do 2 penguins having a party, a little self-portrait, my house. And then this is, it says, between the woods and frozen lake, the darkest evening of the year. And that was actually a thumbnail for a little landscape that I ended up doing, inspired by Stopping by Woods on a Snowy Evening, which is a wonderful poem by Robert Frost. And then someone said I should put a sign that says to be continued, so I did that. And that is the end of that. I don't think there's even anything, nope, nothing in there. So that is my mini sketchbook tour. I really hope that you enjoyed it. I have a couple of other filled sketchbooks, so if you have enjoyed it, please let me know and I will be sure to do some more tours. I actually have postcards. I have a set of sketchbook postcards taken from this little sketchbook available in my shop, which I'll link in the description. I'm also going to link all of the art materials and this sketchbook and all the artists that I talked about and the references I talked about as well. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope that you enjoyed a little tour of my little sketchbook. If you've enjoyed your time here on my channel, please like and subscribe, and I will see you very soon in the next video. Bye. By the way, I got a new microphone. Hope you like it. Okay, goodbye.